Yo, what is up, y'all? It's Cone back here again today with another video. Today, I'm going to be looking at some hot takes that y'all gave to me on Twitter. This tweet that I put out asking for hot takes might be a couple weeks old. It's been a little bit that I've been trying to get around to this video, but I think a lot of these hot takes are still going to apply. So today, we're going to go ahead and go through these hot takes that y'all left me. I'll give my opinions on them, go through as many as I can. I think there's like 100, so I can't talk about all of them, but we'll see how many we get through. If you do want a chance to be in one of these videos, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. I put out tweets like this all the time asking for y'all to participate, so if you want that opportunity, make sure to not miss out. Twitter is always in the description below. Also, make sure to leave a like and subscribe and comment down below a hot take that you want to see me react to or that you kind of just want me to talk about. Maybe I'll pick some of them and make another video. So, gonna go ahead and get right into it, starting off with Kevin, who left me two of them. Kevin's first one is that the Mavericks are sleepers in the playoffs and can beat Memphis in a playoff series. Now, I'll kind of break this down through two things. The Mavs, I do agree. I think they are sleepers in the playoffs when you have a guy like Luka Doncic, especially with the way that they've been playing. I've been meaning to make a video about the Mavericks, so expect that kind of soon. But the Dallas Mavericks have been playing great basketball, and you have a player like Luka Doncic, who's probably like top 7, 8-ish in the NBA. Anything is absolutely possible. Dinwiddie's been great. Jalen Brunson. If their shooters are knocking down shots, the Mavericks can beat almost anyone in the playoffs, in my opinion. So I do agree they could not only like make a run in the playoffs, but I could see them beating Memphis. I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying that I think they could. Kevin also says there will be no sweeps in the NBA playoffs. I do think it is a pretty stacked bracket. To say that there's no sweeps, maybe. I guess it depends who wins in the play-in matchups. If like a team comes out of the play-in matchups that just kind of made like one of those late runs, like a 10 seed, then maybe there will be a sweep. But I mean, I could see it. I could definitely think it's possible. I'm not sure how often that's happened in the NBA, but it's a pretty stacked year for the NBA playoffs. Drex says that Cade will be the best player out of all the young guards, excluding Luka. So when he says young guards, I'm guessing he means like Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, of course, Jalen Green in that same draft class, Jalen Suggs, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is another one. I'm guessing he means guys like that. I'm not going to talk about Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, because while they are still young, they're not quite in the same generation. So I'm going to think about like Trey, Cade, Anthony Edwards. I don't think Cade will be better than Trey necessarily. I just don't know if I see Cade getting up to the level that Trey is at, or even more so that Trey's going to get to, because I'm super high on Trae Young. I think he's incredible, one of the best offensive players in the league, period, at the moment. I'm biased, so I don't want to say he's going to be better than Shea either, but I do think Cade will be up there. I think the flashes that he's shown, especially over this recent stretch where he's kind of tried to make himself a name in this Rookie of the Year race, I don't think he's going to win it necessarily, but he's been playing some great basketball, has kind of turned the Pistons season around a little bit, nothing too crazy because they still only have 19 wins, which as a Thunder fan who wants the first overall pick, I'd love to see them get some more wins, but overall, the Pistons, just even if they're not necessarily winning, they've been playing better basketball at least, and a lot of that is due to Cade. He has been the best player on that team over this recent stretch. He's going to be a stud in this league, and so I think this is not a bad take necessarily, definitely a hot take, but I mean, with the things that Cade has shown, it's something that I could maybe see. Kane says that the Lakers will go on a run and make the 7-8 play-in game rather than the 9-10. I think they're going to be in the 9-10. Trey says that Golden State over Phoenix in 6 games. Golden State just doesn't, like earlier in the season, they felt like the team to beat in the Western Conference, but they've just really, between Steph Curry slump, just they can't kind of stay healthy. James Wiseman, we don't know when he's going to be back, and he was a guy for a while everyone was talking about maybe being a difference maker, but at this point with such little time left in the season, I don't even know how much of a difference he'll make. I just don't see them beating Phoenix. I think they could, but if I have to make a prediction, I think I'm going to go Phoenix in 6 over Golden State. Golden State over Phoenix in 6 kind of just feels disingenuous to how good Phoenix is. Randy says that players like Jason Tatum, Luka, Trey got so good so quick now that everyone has crazy expectations for them. Luka and JT haven't had perfect seasons, but they turn up when they need to. The league is so competitive that they will have to have career years and be a 1 seed to have real MVP hopes. I agree. This is something that I've said for a little while. People need to kind of slow down on some of these things. When you've got players like Jason Tatum, for example, who went to the Eastern Conference Finals in his rookie season, it immediately creates these crazy expectations. Same with Luka and Trey Young, guys who have incredible seasons. I think the best example of this, in my opinion, is Tyler Hero. Hero in the bubble and even in his rookie season, he was incredible. He was doing some insane things in that run to the NBA Finals. And coming into the next year, I think it was like ESPN had him ranked at like the 38th best player in the league going into the season. Like, it just wasn't going to happen. Players don't grow linearly like that. So Tyler Hero, when he had a down year, everyone got super down on him. Everyone was like, oh, Tyler Hero, he was a one-off. He was like a bubble special. Like, the only reason he went off like that was because he was in the bubble. And now Tyler Hero this year is having a great year. He's probably going to win Sixth Man of the Year. But because people get so wrapped up in that first season, they build these expectations of how players are going to develop, how they're going to grow, which just isn't necessarily the case. Players don't always get... Like, you never see a case where a player just gets better every single year until they retire or until they start kind of, declining a little bit. You just don't see that. You see years where players take a little bit of a dip statistically. Some players have a rise. It's just going to happen. And especially in a league that is more talented than ever, it's something you're going to see. So I think this is a really good take by Randy. Aaron says that Shai, as you can see, I've already liked this tweet. Shai has the potential to be a top 5 scorer in the NBA. I agree. By the end of the season, he might be averaging 25 points per game. His efficiency continues to get better over this course of the season, especially since the All-Star break. He's averaging over 30 points per game since then. He's one of the top 15 scorers in the league right now, I believe. I think he is the 15th leading scorer when you account for missed games by Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, who don't technically qualify, but even if you include them, I believe he's 17th right now, so absolutely I think he has that potential. Trey, once again, says that the Sixers are winning the finals. I don't think this is necessarily a hot take. The East is really tough, so it will be hard for them to kind of come out of that, but they definitely could. Anthony Simons will make the jump to all-star caliber next year playing off of Dame. I don't think all-star, it's so tough because I think Simons is going to be really good. The problem is, it's going to be a bit of an adjustment because Anthony Simons, over the course of this season, part of the reason why he's gotten so much better and grown is that he's had the ball in his hands more. So playing off of a guy like Damian Lillard, there's going to be an adjustment period. And when you just account for the talent out in the Western Conference, like two guys who didn't make the All-Star game as guards, Anthony Edwards and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander this past year, are going to make big cases to make kind of get those spots next season. So it's just really tough with all the Western Conference guards. Of course, you have Booker and Mitchell as well in there, Steph Curry. It's kind of tough. And then Jamal Murray is going to come back too. There are just a lot of names that I think it's going to be kind of tough. Nikola Jokic is going to go on a wild stat push and steal MVP. He's still got time. There's only 10 games left, but the Nuggets are kind of in danger right now of being in the play-in tournament. And I think if he ends up there, I just don't think they end up giving it to him, but we'll see. The Pelicans will make the play-in and keep Zion to help them be a playoff team next year. I agree. I don't think Zion's gone necessarily. I would love to see Zion come back at this point. I think it's unlikely. I saw a report that he will be coming back before the end of the season. I would love to see Zion back. There was a video yesterday of him doing throwing down a between the legs windmill dunk and making it look so easy. I miss watching Zion play. He's one of the most electrifying young players in the sport, so hopefully he's able to come back soon. The Cavs would have made the conference finals if healthy, and the Suns will not make the finals. I disagree on the Cavs thing. I think they are really good. I think they're just a couple years away. When Mobley gets better, offensively becomes more refined. Him and Jarrett Allen continue to build that defensive chemistry. I do think the injuries to Ricky Rubio hurt them. Colin Sexton, I'm guessing Lint here is including Colin Sexton in that equation. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with him going forward, but I don't think they would have made the conference finals. I think just between the Heat, Bucks, Sixers, Celtics now going on a tear, I think there are just too many teams out there in the Eastern Conference for the Cavs to really come out of that. And then as for the Suns thing, I don't think that's that crazy of a take, even though I think the Suns are the best team. In the West, it's a tough conference. Brandon Ingram is better than Jason Tatum. This was 2 weeks ago, so I'm not sure if D'Andre still believes this, but I think Tatum is absolutely better. The Lakers don't make the playoffs. I don't think that's that hot of a take. The Celtics are coming out of the East. This is something that I personally think could definitely happen. I've made this kind of opinion known both on Twitter and here on the channel multiple times. I definitely think they can come out of the East. Some people don't think so, but when you kind of just look at their team, that defense, and kind of how well their two stars have been playing with Tatum and Brown, I think it's definitely possible. Bam Adebayo is the best defender in the NBA. I don't think so. If I had to give that title out, Giannis, maybe? Draymond's up there too. Gobert, at least as a rim protector, of course. I'm guessing they mean best all-around defender. I think I'd have to go Giannis if I had to pick someone off the top of my head, like not thinking about it, but Bam is really good. The Pistons will have a better record than the Thunder at the end of the season. I hope so. Bam Adebayo, Mikal Bridges, Draymond Green are better overall defenders than Rudy Gobert. Okay, so when you say better overall defender, it's tough because when you say better overall, it means like all-encompassing skill. And sure, they may be all better perimeter defenders, but the paint defense that Rudy Gobert brings, especially on a Jazz team that doesn't have great perimeter defenders, so a lot of people come and attack in the paint, his paint protection is huge for that team. So it depends what you mean necessarily as better overall. The Timberwolves will make the playoffs without the play-in, and it's looking like that might happen. But winning a series is tough. Because assume they get the 6th seed, they would have to play probably the Golden State Warriors in that first round. And to beat the Warriors, it's going to be really tough. Maybe if Steph Curry isn't back, or if he's still kind of coming back to his form, like being out with injury for a couple of weeks, maybe. But I just think the Wolves are maybe a year away. If they got to face a team like if they could make up to like the 5 or the 4 seed, then I definitely think there is a chance. But right now, I kind of foresee them as maybe like that 6th seed, and so I think it's going to be kind of difficult. Prime Russ over Prime Magic as a big Russ fan? No. Chet will be a Gobert-level rim protector in 2 years. If some of y'all don't know who he's talking about Chet Holmgren, projected potentially #1 overall pick in this upcoming draft. I like Chet a lot. Chet is my favorite prospect in the draft. He's the guy I want the Thunder to get because of his great rim protection, his defense, his ability to stretch the floor as a 7-footer. But I think to say Gobert-level rim protector, Gobert's one of the best rim protecting centers in NBA history, if you didn't know. I think that's just a little unrealistic. I do think he could reach historically great rim protection maybe at some point in his career, but in 2 years it's kind of a little early, especially because he's probably going to have to put on weight to do that, and that's of course going to take time. A healthy Magic team with their draft pick next season is the deepest young core in the NBA. That's not necessarily a terrible take, I don't think. I think the Magic young core is super, super good, and between Franz, Jalen Suggs, Jonathan Isaac, whenever he comes back, Markelle Fultz, Cole Anthony, Wendell Carter, who's been great. Did I already say Franz Wagner? If I didn't, Franz Wagner is another name. And then assuming they get a top 4 or 5 pick in this draft, that is a stupidly good young core. Mo Bamba is a name I didn't even mention as well. Chuma Okeke, just to name some more names. The Magic are super young, and they're really building something over there. Max Strus will be next. Tyrese Maxey is better than Bradley Beal? No. Suns sweep the Jazz? Maybe. Their perimeter play would be so hard for the Jazz to stop. Not a take, but hi YouTube. What's up? LeBron will take his talents back to Cleveland next year. He can't with his contract. Covered in my podcast, but Shea is a less athletic Ja Morant. I don't think they have super comparable games. Shea is more of a mid-range game. Ja is more of a high-flying kind of game. I don't know. That's kind of a weird comparison there. I think Shea is definitely less athletic than Ja Morant, but Shea's a better finisher at the rim. He's a lot more finesse. Ja's a lot more power. I think they're a little bit different. Darius Bazley will finish his career with a 20-plus point per game. I'm guessing that means season. I mean, sure, I'll take it. Ja's the best point guard in the NBA. I disagree. I think it's still Steph. The Bulls will make the conference finals after this recent stretch. Maybe your opinion has changed. Draymond is more valuable to Curry than the Warriors, or more valuable than Curry for the Warriors. I don't necessarily agree. For winning championships, Curry is overrated in general. I don't think so. Draymond does play a big role, but if you watch the Warriors offense without Steph Curry, it is so bad. Isaiah Jackson will be better than Jonathan Kuminga at their absolute peaks. More of a prediction than a hot take, but that's what mine is. I'm not going to argue with you there because I don't necessarily agree. And finally, went off with Kyrie is the most skilled point guard ever. I don't necessarily agree. I'm not one of the people who thinks that Kyrie is the most skilled player ever, because to me, defense requires a lot of skill. Kyrie's never been a really great defender. Now, you could say he's one of the most offensively gifted point guards ever. When it just comes into playmaking, handles, I believe he has the best handles of all time. Shooting, like his finishing at the rim, he is one of the more skilled players of all time. But personally, for me, I think defense does take a lot of skill in that aspect, and so I don't think you can just necessarily take that out of the equation when you think about like the most skilled players or point guards ever. That's kind of my whole thing on that take, because I know a lot of people talk about the Kyrie skill thing. Those are just my thoughts. So these are my thoughts on these hot takes. Also, this last one here, Sam Presti's the best GM in the NBA. Yes. I appreciate y'all watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and comment a hot take down below. I'll try to respond to as many of y'all as I can. I appreciate y'all watching. I will see you all later. Real One Say Back.